And as I said, you were nominated this year for the ISSA Awards, and next year you are going to be nominated once again, I'm sure. First things first, Pen Moon. Where did that come from?
Well, it's a pen name moon. So, a lot of writers, authors, they use a pen name when they don't want, their real name out there. Well, I got published at the age of 12. Um, and instead of using my legal name, as you put, we came up with a pen name. And I chose pen name Moon because I have a thing for the moon. I try to be a light for my friends during their darkest moments, you know. Like the moon does in the sky at night, lead you out of the woods. So we went with
See,
pen
that's
name
where it
Moon.
come from.
Yeah.
I see. That's where it all come from. So everybody who knows you obviously knows you as Kristen, or they know you as Pen Moon. So in terms of your record label that you put together, was that a record label named after Pen Moon as well?
Yeah, it was Poetic Moon Records and more. So I started off as an author doing poetry. My first poem
Ah,
was published at 12. So I was a poet. And so that's where the poetic thing comes from. And that kind of is what led me into becoming a lyricist. I went from writing poems to when I got sick, I was doing nursing and then I had to quit. And so I started filling my time going back to Old Faithful writing. And instead of writing poems, my dad's a musician, or who was a musician. And he was like, write songs. So I started writing music and became a lyricist and found that I like writing songs a whole lot more than I like writing poems.
so when you done your style of music, who was your sort of person that you listened to when you were younger? Who was the person that you thought, actually, this is the type of music that I'd like you to do?
Well, so, all right, I grew up as a rock and roll girl. My dad did rock, he was a rock and roll musician. But I never really liked genre constraints. So I didn't really choose one. And you'll notice in my work, I write for every genre. You'll find country, you'll find pop, you'll find rock, you'll find hip hop, you'll find rap. And it was really rap that got me started. Okay, so, and it was due to a kid that I was tutoring. I made a joke that I could become a rap goddess, and they were like, they called me on it and challenged me, and so I wrote lyrics to the beat of Gangster's Paradise, but realized I could not distribute it because you need a license. That was my first lesson here. So, and so I ended up writing something for the war in Ukraine. And that's my first thing that got distributed. But every genre.
Fantastic. Every genre's covered. I like your rap music. It's a different style.
Yeah.
Me and you have started like working on a song together, and I've been an artist for over 20 years now, and no one's ever challenged me on a rap game, and I'm like, can I do this? Is this something I can actually do? But actually quite enjoying it. It's like it's
Yeah.
different. I really like it.
Yeah, people always say, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm still trying to find myself. I don't have no vocal training at all, and it's hard to find a vocalist that, they want you to pay them and it's pay for studio time. Whereas, I mean, I made my own studio. So, I can rap supposedly sometimes, so yeah, it tends to be my better stuff.
But for someone who, isn't a vocalist, to actually be nominated for ISSA, that must have been quite an achievement.
Yeah, that stunned me. I did not see that coming at all. Okay, at all. And to actually make it for a finals, like me and my whole family were in the living room that night, and we were listening to Miss Tammany Dove, and I was like, I heard the first Kristen, like there's another Kristen with the capital letters in her name or whatever, and I was like, okay, yeah, they're just gonna keep on going. But then I heard my name, like, huh? I actually dropped my phone. Okay, I'm like, what? And I rewinded Facebook. I'm like, she said my name. I'm a finalist. My mama was screaming. She was like, we're going to it. I'm like, oh my Lord, what am I going to wear? Dad was the proudest. He bought me a Casio keyboard to celebrate. Yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
amazing. And I know for you, that was a special moment when you actually went, you took some stuff of your dad's, in terms of going to the actual award ceremony itself. I didn't manage to go to award ceremony, and I've spoken to so many artists about the award ceremony itself. But for you, it must have been amazing meeting so many different artists out there.
Yeah, I got to meet so many cool people. I took pictures with as many people as I could. Like I was hugging people. Some of them I didn't even know, but I was hugging them, and taking pictures. Like, take a picture with me, please. I was acting like a fan. I mean, one step away from having your autograph. Yeah.
But for you, that must have been a really
So nice.
must have been a proud moment for you as well, because I think one of the things I know about you is that you are underconfident in your music and in
Yeah.
yourself. But it really does go to show that even as a lyricist, as you call yourself, you can go for some of those top awards. That ISSA award group was a very tough group this year. There was some amazing talent in that group, and to be even named in that talented group, really
Yeah.
goes to show that your lyrics are out there. They're good.
Yeah, it was okay. So when I was as writing as an author, like a poet, and I did that for so many years, and not many people, purchase books or read it, so you don't feel like your words are heard. You know what I mean? But in the music industry, I was like, okay, well, this is a chance to be heard, and I wanted my words to make like a difference, in a positive way, which is why like I did pieces on war. There's some fun, playful pieces out there, yes, but a lot of my stuff is deep for a reason, trying to change perceptions for the better for the world, for our children. And to make it to become a finalist, I was like, okay, I'm heard, you know what I mean? So I could be heard in this industry. It's a chance to maybe possibly make a difference. So yeah, it was a very proud moment for me because I felt heard. Yeah. And
Brilliant. And
that's a big thing.
feeling heard's really important. And at the end of the day, that's going to spur you on for 2025. We're nearly at the end of 2024 now. And that's
Yeah.
definitely going to spur you on for 2025. Are you going to enter next year?
Yeah, I'm going to enter next year. I'm actually trying to decide what I want. I'm trying to pick a world event or a world cause. Something, that's not something internationally, worldwide, something that is plaguing us, that hits home to not just a small group, but to a large group of people. I want to write something
Wow.
to impact a large group and maybe change
Fantastic.
the perceptions of people and maybe make a difference. So I got to find the right instrumental. It's kind of catchy, some words that'll hit home, to the heart. And so I'm really, really brainstorming for this one.
Brilliant. And we're going to brainstorm together, because that's going to be part of our music academy. Because we were talking about that, weren't we? What we
Yes,
said
sir.
about part of our music academy was what we'd really love to offer someone is a musician who wants to get and break into the music industry. And at the end of it, produce a single which then has that same creative flow, produce a single which will be dedicated to a local or national charity. So yeah, there's going to be some brainstorming going on in the next few months, and perhaps we can help each other, and perhaps we can help our artists get to the ISSA awards as well in terms of nominations, because they happen just after Christmas time.
Yeah.
Anyway, in relation to your music, young lady, I told you to show me some music and bring it for everybody else to hear your lovely voice, but you didn't do it. Young lady, you forgot your homework, but you did give me a really good song, which is your dad's song, and you wanted to show
Yes.
the world your dad's song, because there's a personal meaning behind your dad's song at the moment, and then I want you
Yeah.
to tell the world before we play it what that meaning is.
Okay, so my dad was a musician, as I stated, and he did mainly rock and roll. I grew up him playing the guitar, doing music, and he wrote like I did. He wrote his own songs. He composed his own instrumentals with his own guitar, and he passed away at the end of July. And before he died, I kept begging him, please, let me record you and distribute you. Let me record you and distribute you. We never got around to it, but he had a longtime girlfriend, basically his fiance, and she had a recording of him. And out of all the recordings she had, there was just that one that you can actually make out what he was saying. And I worked tirelessly, and I had some help with actually a producer who's with Warner Music Publishing, and he helped me clean it up, and we had it distributed. And 100% of the proceeds goes to Music Cares. And the reason why I chose Music Cares is they help musicians and music industry, really anybody in the music industry, with depression, mental health, addictions, things like that. And kind of find out my dad was struggling with depression, and he secretly had for many years, silently. He never sought help. And this song he sung it through my childhood to us, and I never really caught on till after his death. And if you listen to the words, you can kind of tell that he was struggling with that. But this song, every time it's streamed, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, 100% goes to Music Cares in hopes that it makes a difference and can help save someone else.
Fantastic, thank you. So what I'm going to do is myself and Kristen are going to listen to this song. You are also going to listen to this song over on YouTube and also X and also Facebook. Please make sure you download this and continue to give to this amazing organisation, and we'll hear a bit more about the organisation after the song's played. So give me 2 seconds and I'll play. Is it Deezer Blues?
Well, it's got 2 titles. So I used to call it White Picket Fence growing up because, the American dream is a white picket fence. Okay. Well, kind of find out, the actual title is called These Blues, like These Blues, but with the D. So it's got 2 titles.
Okey-dokey, fantastic. Here we go then. I'm going to play it for everybody right now.
There's your mother on the phone, drunken times is all alone. Daddy ain't coming back, shot and killed while high on crack. Little brother is sitting in jail, ain't nobody gonna make his bail. He's trying to make amends for ripping off all of his friends. Picket fence, needing some pain. Perfect life, no, this one ain't. Try walking a mile in my shoes, and you deserve to say any boo. Be blue. In 5 years since I've been in a bank, car won't run with sugar in the tank. Know my girl's been sneaking around, and so does the rest of the town. Feel my face starting to slip away. Every night, lay down and pray. Oh Lord, won't you let me see? Why is all this misery on me? Picket fence, needs some pain. Perfect life, no, this one ain't. Try walking a mile in my shoes, and you deserve the same. Be blue, be blue, be blue. Old guitar starting to sound like shit. Needs new strings, but I can't afford it. PO is all over my back. Can't seem to get my life back on track. Best friend, he's missing a limb. Drinks a lot so it won't bother him. We're all missing some parts. Some of us legs and some of us only got heart. Be blue, be blue.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Well done for
it
bringing.
dropped the S sound in blues, but there was nothing they could do about that.
Well done for bringing that song back out. You've been very, very proud to know that his sort of memory is living on with Music Cares. Hang on a minute, I don't know what's going on. A minute, 2 seconds. What is it with live? I tell you, it goes straight on. Let's remove YouTube so we can continue talking. Hang on, I meant to remove it, not keep it. It's live, I tell you. So what we were just saying in terms, it was fantastic that you brought it back, and he must have been really proud in terms of Music Cares. You know, in terms of the organisation, I have put some information out for the One Life team to be able to have a look at Music Cares, and if you want to see what type of things that they do, you know, in terms, do they have support groups? What else do they do in terms of Music Cares?
You can I've actually reached out to them for myself, so from experience. They help with therapy, psychologists, if addiction recovery and treatment, outpatient, inpatient. They have therapy support groups. They can even help you with if you're finding it just hard to meet your everyday necessities. They even help with your rent if you need be. The only requirements is that you've been in the music industry for at least 5 years.
Right,
Even as an independent artist, that's fine. That's fine.
fantastic.
As long as that you could show them, you know, that hey, it's pro, or hey, I wrote this song. Here's the copyright date. That's fine.
Mhm.
They will reach out to you. They'll put together a support system for you.
Brilliant.
They'll fill your medications. I mean, they really care about the artists in the music industry. It doesn't even have to be artists. If you are a tour bus driver in the music industry, they'll help you.
Wow,
So that's pretty good.
fantastic. That's really good. It's really important. You know, we've had a really sad loss this year in terms of Liam Payne over in the UK, in terms of mental health. And we'll be talking a bit about that on the show tomorrow morning. But, you know, in terms of music artists having the right support, you know, there is support out there, and I think Music Airs would be a great one to put out to all of our artists over in One Life, but also to anyone else. You know, there must be similar projects over here in the UK, and we will try and get that out to you if you're an independent artist and you need that level of support. You know, obviously Christine's been very open this evening and said, you know, she used it herself. You know, so I'm glad that that support's out there, and I'm glad that you've brought that to us here at One Life because that's really helpful.
Yeah. And if you have not been in the music industry for 5 years, that's okay. They still offer some resources for you. They have like group sessions online, you know, where they'll do it like, you know, face to face over line. So they do have things and resources out there for you as well, even if you have not been in the industry for 5 years. So there are things there. You can still call and ask them for help. Email.
Fantastic, brilliant. Excellent. So, if you've seen everybody on Christine's profile this evening before the show was put out, I did put a link on there, and I will also put a link on the show when I send out this video this evening. So, thank you for bringing that information to us, Christine. So, Christine, I know it's been a tough year, okay, and your dad would want you to reflect on the things that you have made yourself most proud for. And there's been several things this year. It's been the ISSA Awards. It's also been restoring his Harley Davidson, the grandchildren coming into the world. You know, there's been lots and lots of 2024, which has been a really positive moment for you. We're nearly at the end of 2024. Come on, Mrs. What has been your highlight? Not your difficulties. What's been your highlights of 2024?
Oh, Jesus. That's a hard one. I have two. So, well, of course, the ISSA, you know, awards, that's like number one for me, like there. But I'm really close, like another number one is I actually restored an old guitar of my dad's that I inherited. It was a Fender Stratocaster, and I tuned that thing by myself. Used YouTube, but
God.
restored it, stringed it, and everything. I put it all, got it all together. It was an old parts guitar of his because his actual Les Paul is missing. We're all looking for it, but yeah, by myself, I restored a guitar. and
all the guitarists out there are going to know how it might be difficult for them. It might be really easy to restore, but for someone who's never restored anything like that, you know, like I say, YouTube tutorials really helped you help. How about lyric writing in your songs? You know, has there been any particular songs that you've been really proud of this year that you thought actually that's one I really like?
Well, yeah. Well, there's one that I find myself listening to all the time. For some reason, it's called "Why God." You know what I mean? What I did is I tried to mix 3 genres when I did that one. So it's like a mix of 3 or 4 genres in it. 4 actually. Yeah.
and it actually came out all right. And the guy who helped me clean up my dad's song, who's with Warner Music Publishing, he actually liked it too. And there's a second one too. It's called "Tell Me Judge," which
I
some
love that
people
one.
and
That's what
yeah.
I like. That's one of my favorite ones. If anyone hasn't heard that Fu One live, can you please make sure you go to Tell Me Judge, to Christine's page and listen to it? It's a really good song.
Yeah.
Only reason you wrote that song was?
Okay, so a life story. Okay. Me and my husband been together, married almost 20 years. But there was a period of time where we had separated for like 5. Okay. And there was an affair involved. And it was my old best friend. Okay. And I wrote it about that situation. But I used some Eminem to it, like an influence or whatever. And I didn't expect anybody to like it. It was more like, therapeutic. When you write, it's therapeutic. And so that's kind of how that one came about, but it ended up being one of the good ones. and no, look, she's heard it. She's heard it, and she likes it too. So
She's rebellious.
yeah,
It's a song fired against her, and she likes it. It's like, oh, that's good.
yeah.
And
Because I
gave
mean,
me
you have to think about story wise, and everything. I mean, it's okay. So it's how do I put it? It comes from a situation that happened, is influenced by it, or what's the word I'm looking for? It came from that situation, but it's really a story. It's fictional. Like Eminem didn't really go and do what he did to his mom in the song. So it's not real. It didn't really happen. It's a story, and no names are mentioned. So, but yeah, she likes it too. It's Eminem flair. It's influence. Yeah.
Well, your partner never knows to do anything again, because if he does, that there's a song coming out and it's going to be
Oh
released
yeah,
to
he
the world.
makes jokes about that now. He makes jokes about that now. He does. He said, "What are you gonna do? Write a song
bet
about
he
me now?" Like, yes. That's how I do therapy.
How about life outside? How about life outside of music, the music world? Before we come on to the show, you said you moved. What part of America are you in now?
So I am in Georgia.
In
The
Georgia.
Denny Awards, I seen it. There was a contestant that they showed on there from Georgia. So hey, definitely got to represent. Um, but yeah, I'm in Georgia, the United States of America. But where I moved from is like the suburbs of Atlanta, the city area, to up north to the mountains of Georgia, the Royal area, where we
Fantastic.
have deer and stray chickens and coyotes.
It must be
A lot of
beautiful
trees.
up there.
It is. It's really beautiful. I don't even know if I can show, but trees all around
Trees
me.
and relaxation. Oh, what a
Yes.
musician needs when they've had a really tough year like yourself, in terms of getting back into your writing, getting back into bringing the next tracks, the next masterpieces.
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of the fresh air and just come and sit out. Like I'm at a friend's house right now on their porch, it's screened in, but just the fresh air and looking at the scenery, it really does something to the inspiration and writing. It does. So definitely
That's
need
really
it, and
good.
it's in time for writing for the next year's awards.
That's it. So, in relation to sort of outside of music, how does Kristen relax? How does she, like, apart from building motorbikes, did you build that from scratch? Or that was amazing. I saw that on your Facebook. I was like, hang on a minute,
The
we've got a
Harley.
musician, but she also builds Harley Davidsons.
Well, what it is, we've been restoring. It's actually my dad's
Cool.
Harley Davidson, and it was leaking oil, and it had something wrong with the clutch and the ignition, and we've been restoring it. We're going to take it and memorialize it. That's the plan with it. But what I do is I do a lot of things. I actually was known as a girl with too many hobbies before the music industry.
Never too many hobbies. Come on.
No, you'd be surprised. I'm an ordained minister. I'm an Amazon influencer for the products and music. I do MMD animation. I'm a poet, as I stated. I tutor kids. I had a nonprofit. I don't anymore. Let's see. I'm an affiliate for certain apps. One's called a Clapper app. I used to teach role play, the writing. I created like worlds for them for that, and it really that was a trick into tutoring kids without them knowing I was tutoring them and strengthening their writing and reading comprehension. Yeah, I mean, I do. I like doing epoxy resin. I don't know if you heard of it, but epoxy resin, and I
No, I
like
haven't
to
heard
make
of.
things in molds.
Okay.
Yeah, sewing, crocheting, gardening, canning. Yeah.
Bit of everything, really. You know, jack of all
Wildlife
trades.
rehabilitation is my favorite. I do that with
Right.
squirrels.
Okay. And I saw you help and restore little animals as well on your Facebook.
Yes.
You've got like little mouses and things like that that you
Yeah.
restore and look after and care for. It's absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. You've got an amazing world, you know, and the positivity in 2024 is to keep you strong. And we're going to keep you strong, as everybody in One Life is going to keep you strong for 2025, because we want you to get back to where you was in terms of the ISSA Awards and producing some great music. And I think in 2025, we're going to aim to do that with you. But in relation to sort of like other things that, you know, is coming up for 2025, there must be some plans in your mind. Come on.
Hmm. Well, that thing we were talking about doing together, that's definitely one.
Okay.
Of course, continue writing, but actually, I think on top of music, I'm wanting to maybe release a book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I want to do that.
Around what's been going on. What's the book going to be about? Have you got any ideas yet?
Well, I'm torn between if I want to do like back in the old day, poetry, or if I actually want to do a book, like a memoir of my
Hmm,
life, something like that.
that'd be really good.
Yeah,
That'd be good. Well, I
because
can
I've
quite
been
see
through a lot
that.
of trials and tribulations, and I've come through it. Like that's my whole purpose is no matter what you're going through, no matter what walls you're facing, bumps in the road. I mean, there's always a way through it, over it, to overcome it. And I have so many, and
'Cause you went
if,
through an
if you
illness as
learn
well, didn't
anything,
you?
it's
Before becoming a musician, was you a nurse?
yes, I was, and then I got sick,
And you
and
got
I still
sick.
am. Yeah,
So
I
you've
have
been
a
through a lot.
yeah, I have a cardiovascular condition. I'm actually supposed to be coming up for heart surgery eventually, but I yeah, and I had to stop working. I was swelling up real bad, my legs, and I still do from time to time. And I've had 4 surgeries so far in the past year, and
Wow.
I take a lot of medications, whereas before I didn't really even want to take ibuprofen. So yeah, but I didn't let it slow me down at all. That's my husband working on the
And
car.
you are strong, Kristen. From the time that I've known you, you are a very strong, courageous woman, and you're always there to support others, even through your darkest times and your most difficult times. You've always been there to support others. In terms of
Trying to be
Pen
the
Moon,
moon.
in charge to be the moon, and when in terms of the moon, in terms of supporting independent artists, you know the materials that you've got out there. You know what type of support can you give an independent artist who has just started? You know, someone said to you, right, I'd love to be a musician. I want to come from a karaoke singer into being an independent musician. Haven't got a clue where to start. What type of materials and what type of support can Pen Moon offer them?
Oh well, let me tell you. So when I entered the music industry, I realized real quickly. I mean, it's hard to find support out there, and everybody wants to charge for everything. And a lot of times you're paying for something and getting nowhere. Okay. There's so many scammers. So many people are preying on the people in the music industry. It's ridiculous. Okay. And I've had to learn the ropes myself. And when I get interested in something, I study it. Okay. So, I mean, I could tell you how to make a home studio for yourself. You can't afford a studio. I can tell you how to record yourself and create something and make it radio ready quality, metadata tagging and everything. How to distribute it, how to copyright it, how to find a publisher for it, so you can get all three of your revenue streams plus some more. Um, how to pick a pro, what pros are available to you. How to find a manager if you need a manager. What is a PR? What is a publicist? What's the difference between a producer and a composer? Everything. The organizations that are out there for you, how to do your taxes as a musician if you're in the USA. I can help people internationally, so it's not just a USA thing. The radio stations, which ones are there for you? And I'm talking about college, independent, AM and FM, internationally. Okay. Magazines, blogs, um, podcasts, the whole nine. Um, how you need to rent, and how I can actually create a tour for people in their area, contact the venues themselves, book it, schedule it for you. I've done it for some, so things like that. Basically,
Brilliant.
from start to finish.
Fantastic. And that's where we're going to go with the Music Academy. We're going to go from start to finish. So that's why I wanted to end the show on, because these are the things that we can get excited about for One Life, because these are things that Kristen and Pet Moon is going to bring to One Life, and it's going to be an amazing journey together. And I'm really looking forward to working with you, Kristen. But I'm also really proud of you. I'm really proud of you, what you've been through this year, but also what you've achieved this year. And I want you to remember your achievements this year. So in relation to One Life, in relation to your music journey, we've nearly come to an end. What I want you to do is just reflect, is there anybody out there in the music world or your family who would like to say a special thank you to at this time of the program? Is there anyone you'd like to dedicate a special thank you to?
Well, of course, I want to thank you. You've been a great friend. But and International Singer-Songwriters Association, of course, they are a great support system. I want to thank my family for being there for me. I want to thank my dad up in heaven for making me who I am today. Music is in my blood because it ran through his. I want to thank my son because even through the hard times, he's been my rock. My grandchildren, my daughter, my other son too. Just everybody, really, because if I didn't have the people in my life that I have in my life, I wouldn't be who I am.
Oh, fantastic. That's lovely. Do you know what? You've been an amazing guest, and I know it's been a really tough time for you this year, but we are going to get you through a really good time, and we're going to have some special memories between now and the end of the year, because we've got our Christmas party on the 19th, and you've agreed to come and help me host. But we've got some good times between now and the end of the year, and next year is going to be your year. It's going to be a special year. I can see it coming. Okay.
For you
So
too.
everybody. It is. I'm going to wrap today's show up because I've got to get up early in the morning. One Life never stops. At 9:30, everybody, can you make sure that you join me for a breakfast show, a one-off, because I don't do it that often, a one-off breakfast special with the amazing John Hart, who's going to be joining us on One Life to come and talk to us about his music journey. Okay, so at 9:30 in the morning UK time, I expect Penn is going to be sleeping at that time because it's over in America. But for those who you want to join me for breakfast, please come and join me for the breakfast show in the morning at 9:30. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please continue to give money to the Danny's Foundation and also support them. And we will see you tomorrow morning for breakfast. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much, Penn. You be there.
Bye.
Say good care.